She was buried the next morning. They said it was an illness, that her heart simply stopped in the night. But I knew better. I saw her ghost the night she died. I was staying in my mother's house in the village at the time. She was getting old, and I was pregnant with my first child. My husband was in the city, so I had no one but my mother and my in-laws. I thought I was safe. My mother-in-law, Mama Abina, was a good woman. Everyone respected her because she was kind. She welcomed me as her daughter when I married her son, and she was the first to help me when I found out I was pregnant. But she had an enemy right in her own home, her co-wife, Mama Ya. Mama Ya had been married to my husband's father before Mama Abina, and everyone knew she hated Mama Abina, even though they both lived under the same roof. For months, I'd seen little things. Mama Ya would look at me a certain way, her eyes narrow and cold. Sometimes I'd find strange items left outside my room, a small clay doll with thorns poking out of it, a dead lizard with its mouth sewn shut. I thought it was just village superstition, but when I told Mama Abina, she just smiled and told me not to worry. "I'm watching over you and the baby," she'd say, holding my hand. Then came that night. I woke up suddenly, feeling a chill crawl down my back. I opened my eyes and saw Mama Abina standing at the foot of my bed, her face pale and her eyes sad. She didn't speak, but I felt her say something in my mind, "Be careful of Mama Ya." I tried to reach out, to say something, but she disappeared as quickly as she'd come. The next morning, I found out she was dead. They told me she had died peacefully in her sleep, but the way they looked at me, the whispers that spread, it was as if they all knew something I didn't. I couldn't shake the feeling that she'd come to warn me. A few days later, strange things started happening. I'd wake up feeling my belly being squeezed, as if something was trying to crush my unborn child. Once, I even woke up gasping for air, my whole body frozen in place. I could barely breathe, and I saw Mama Ya standing in the shadows of my room, watching me. When she noticed I'd seen her, she disappeared, leaving only the faint smell of something rotting behind her. Every night, I felt the same cold presence, something pressing down on me. But each time, Mama Abina would appear, just for a moment, and I'd feel the weight lift, the air clear. I knew it was her, still watching over me and the baby, even in death. The last night it happened, I couldn't take it anymore. I got up and confronted Mama Ya, right there in the dark of the house. She just stared at me, her mouth curling into a sick smile. "That child isn't meant to live," she whispered. "Not while I'm still here." But somehow, I knew she was wrong. Mama Abina was stronger. She'd saved me every time, pushing back whatever dark thing Mama Ya was trying to do. My baby was born a month later, healthy and strong. People say Mama Abina was a good woman, that she was blessed even in death. And every time I look at my son, I remember the night she stood by my bed, warning me.